Our pace of living leaves us little time for leisure. Our program will give you a chance to experience the fascinating world of traveling, extreme adventures, hunting and fishing. Each week we will take you to the most beautiful places of Kazakhstan. Last year at the game reserve there was some good news about a trophy hunter from Almaty, Timur Akhmetov, who had got a record-breaking trophy ibex in this region. For more than 10 years, nobody had got such a gigantic trophy. The hunter noticed the animal in the Sumbe game reserve, which is situated 400 kilometers to the east from Almaty. For the members of Trophy Hunting Club, hunting is more sport than a leisure activity. The achievements in this sport are measured depending on the size of the trophy. There are several criteria of evaluation that have been developed by Safari Club International. It's the largest social organization that unites more than 1 million hunters from 75 countries of the world. The hunters take this activity very seriously. Therefore, the size of the trophy is a key factor in evaluation that determines the ranking of the participating countries on the market of hunting services. Kazakhstan, thanks to the unique landscapes and biological diversity, has always been a domain for hunters. In the 1990s, most of the hunting records in the nomination Mountain Hunting belonged to Kazakhstani hunters. But later, the variety of trophy animals decreased, and Kazakhstanis were second to Kyrgyz hunters in this category. The flow of hunters went to Kyrgyzstan primarily because of the Kazakhstani hunters. As a result, there was less money going to the Kazakhstani sector of this business, which had a negative impact on the state of Kazakhstani game reserves. Last year, Kazakhstani hunters were lucky to get the large trophy in the Sumbe game reserve, whose horns were as large as 148 centimeters. In the whole history of Kazakhstani trophy hunting, there have been only 2 occasions of getting trophies that exceeded the size of last year's trophy. In 2010, Kyrgyz hunters were proud of a trophy that had 152 cm horns. In 1998, Kazakhstani hunters got a trophy with 149 cm horn. This has aroused interest in the hunting community, and we got a dozen of letters from them. So we headed for Ketmen Alatau to see the place with our own eyes where there are the gigantic ibexes. In addition, we wanted to inspect the area of the Ketmen Ridge before the trophy hunting season began, namely Uch Hasan, Karatau and Saratau mountains. We start off from the mountains of Saratau at the Sumbe Game Reserve. It takes us a little more than 4 hours to get to the game reserve from Almaty, 3.5 hours along the Narinkol highway and about 40 minutes along a mountain road. And here we are at the entrance of the base camp. We can't get used to the fact that just a couple of hundreds of kilometers away from the megapolis, we can see amazing landscapes of 4,000-meter mountains, thick pine tree woods, and lush green alpine meadows. A part of the game reserve extends towards the state border and is cut by engineering constructions and several rows of barbed wire to mark the border. At the base camp, there is a guest house with all necessary conveniences, including electricity, water pipes, a bathhouse, as well as a billiard hall and 4 guest rooms with 2 or 3 beds in each. So there are all the necessary basic conditions for visitors to game reserve. How long are the horns? They are all native to this region. The length of the horns is 123 centimeters. It's a good trophy. Yermek got it. In the same evening, we observe about a dozen red deers and a good number of roe deers. Interestingly, 2 male roe deers grazing about 200 meters from the border checkpoint. We get up at 3 a.m. and start the intended route on horses. We are on our way to the destination when the sun rises, bringing positive emotions. On the west from us, there is spectacular Mount Huntingri, one of the several high mountains of Tien-Shan. The early morning sunlight is reflected on the rocks of the mount, which makes the mount look amazing. The southern ridges are a mixed landscape of alpine meadows, rocks and a little wood. On the northern side of the ridge, the woods are a lot thicker and cover larger areas. The ibexes inhabit both sides of the ridge, but on the territory between them there is a small population of red deers. Here, from the height, we can clearly see central Tien-Shan with its peak Huntingri. We can see the chain of 6,000-meter peaks of central Tien-Shan from here. One of them is Huntingri Победа. The horses managed to rise as high as 2,800 meters above sea level. Then the path goes as far as a wall of rocks. Over our position there is a peak of 4,112 meters that doesn't have a geographical name. In the stone Colosseum created by Mother Nature, we notice separate groups of ibexes. There is a boar on the slope. The animal is indecisive for a while, not knowing what to do in this situation. Eventually it runs away to hide in juniper bushes at a distance of 150 meters from us. The animal is in full view for us, but it doesn't seem to worry about this. The most important thing for the animal is to hide from the ibexes now. The boar is hiding in a juniper bush. It seems to be fine as it hasn't noticed us and is at a distance of 100 meters and is an excellent target for us. Ibexes are everywhere here, but we have noticed that their population here is not dense. Well, it's relatively small. The ibex population in Altyn Yemel is larger than here, but the trophy quality here is a lot better. The number of ibexes is good here, and it's not hard to hunt them here, and there are some good trophies. We have all heard or read that a large number of species doesn't always mean the good quality of trophies. On the contrary, very old male ibexes prefer to stay away from younger species in difficult-to-access places, as they no longer take part in fights for females during the mating period. During the morning raid we counted 21 ibex species, of which 4 of them are large males that represent the trophy value, 17 females and young males. During the hunt we are accompanied by a dog Akela. It looks impressive as a hunting dog, but unfortunately this is the only good quality of the dog, which doesn't help us while hunting. Being good at acting, Akela turns out to be useless in hunting. When we were leaving the cordon, Yermek, a huntsman, wanted to tie the dog, but it pretended to be sleeping. Apparently, it had worked out that we were not taking it for hunting, and the dog felt like going with us. So the trick worked, and not being tied, the dog followed us, creeping and hiding for several kilometers. When we left the camp, We were at a good distance from it. The dog let us know about its presence, barking loudly and scaring ground squirrels and ibexes, apparently thinking to impress the master, but instead causing his anger. We went up to one of the passes where we had to spend a night. In the Turkuldek Pass, we found a good inn. There is nothing special about it, but we like it. In order to appreciate the comfort of a remote inn, the Sumbe Palace, as we called it, you have to go 4,000 meters up and then climb down. If you are caught by bad weather while doing this, you will find it easier to appreciate the inn. We were caught by a thunder. At night you can cook the dinner on the open flame, both the first and the second courses. The dinner has to be tasty but not heavy. It has to be beautifully served as well, which is also important. For the morning raid, hunters have to get up at 3 a.m. as the dawn breaks at 4 a.m. and the hunter has to be in his position by this time. The position has to be with a good view of the site. Local game reserves impose certain requirements to trophy hunters. The hunters has to aim accurately from 500 meters at different angles. Of course you can approach closer, but you can do this at the full expense of your own time and efforts. And it may be a waste of time to have been climbing a hill for a whole day to make a blunder from 300 meters. We should say a few words about the game reserve here. The owners of the business are people who care about the game reserve and the hunting clients at all levels. At the same time, the game reserve is one of the few that cannot be called unprofitable. Maksat, a local farmer who lives in the neighboring settlement, is one of the workers of the game reserve. The members of his family are based in the game reserve on a regular basis, as they are both investors and managers of the business. They are also huntsmen and provide services to the client at every level, and they do this professionally. On the first and the last day, hunters usually stay in the guest house. When they start hunting, they undertake 2 to 3 day expeditions. These are so-called fly camps. A fly camp is a mobile off-site camp, which consists of a few tents and a washing basin. The way the business is run is at a good European level. There is a saying, if you want to do something well, do it yourself. And the owners and workers of the game reserve seem to have made this saying their motto in their work. Also, their doing the work on their own is determined by better viability of the business in this case. When it was time to return to the city, we were not willing to do so, as the city comfort cannot be compared to the naturally wild landscapes and fresh air. Once you experience the morning breeze at 4,000 meters above sea level and warm wind in the evening, you feel like returning to this site again. In the near future, we will come here again. Sumbe still keeps a lot of secrets for us.